Where can I get peptides for weight loss? Now, this is really important because there's places that I would not recommend getting them for weight loss. And then I'm going to show you two sources that I found to be completely reliable, but not only reliable, but they also can access other peptides that a lot of people are missing in their weight loss journey. I'm going to show you what the safety concerns are so that you can do this in the most effective and safe way possible. And I'm also going to show you what you want to avoid if you don't want the weight to come back on. And so by the end of this video, you'll know exactly where to get peptides from, the safety of the product, and also how important it is to get the right sequencing. So let's jump in. I'm Regan Archibald. I'm a peptide expert. Some people call me the peptide king, which is kind of funny because when I first learned peptides, Dr. Kent Holtorf of Integrated Peptides, he's got a phenomenal company, and he was one of the first mentors that I had in the peptide space. And when he was talking about all these weird names and numbers, it was like he was saying BPC 157 and ARA 290, and there's some phenomenal breakthroughs in SS31 and CJC 1295. And I remember all my colleagues were just like, what? And they were like scratching their head. And I said, where has this guy been my whole life? It felt like I'd already learned it. And so peptides for me, for some reason, they come really natural, and I've been able to train hundreds of clinicians on how to bring peptides into their practice. Because I was misdiagnosed. Early in my life, I had an autoimmune disease. My skin was all eczemaed out, and I had psoriasis developing. My hair was starting to thin. I also was gaining weight, and I was in pain all the time. And it wasn't until a doctor ran the right labs and said, oh, you've got an autoimmune disease. Have you ever been exposed to chemicals, Regan? And I was like, no, not that I can think of. And then he said, never? Didn't you grow up on a farm? I was like, yeah, a farm in Idaho. We'd just spray Roundup, and I'd have planes that would crop dust fields. I'd get soaked in chemicals. And he's like, well, that's it. It's the glyphosate that probably caused your autoimmunity. And so we went and detoxed my body, and I was able to make a dramatic turnaround. And so I left the medical program at the University of Utah, went to Hawaii and studied with Earl Bakken. He's the inventor of the pacemaker, founded Medtronics, and he founded a school, Eastern and Western Medical School, and that's where I learned all the beautiful medicines that I'm going to share with you today. So this comes back to peptides. Why did you get into peptides, Regan, if you're into all this like herbs and acupuncture, and then you also had hormones going, you had great doctors in your office, treating pain using regenerative medicine? I got into peptides because I had so many of my clients that had metabolic disease. And you may say, well, I'm watching this video because I want to know where to get peptides for weight loss. Well, the reason I'm giving you a little backstory is because there's a lot of people out there that you can show up at the clinic and you get weekly injections, or you can do a phone call now. You can call the pharmaceutical company direct. I mean, it seems like there's some conflict of interest, but they've got their own medical staff, and they will send you your prescription if you qualify. Sometimes it's covered under insurance, sometimes it's not. And I can tell you there's a right way of doing this and a wrong way. And so what I learned is when we started utilizing peptides, we were using GLP-1s for weight loss in very small doses long before they ever became so popularized in the United States. And I'm really grateful that they are so widely known now, because I believe it's one of the biggest medical breakthroughs that we've seen since antibiotics, which were introduced during World War II. I mean, antibiotics are in large part one of the reasons why we were able to win the war, is because it was the infections from the damage of war that actually would kill soldiers more so than arrows or bullets or bombs. And antibiotics saved us. And they've saved us over the years until we overprescribed them. And now we've got GLP-1s solving this disease that we have in our country, this epidemic of metabolic disease and metabolic dysfunction. And the symptom is weight gain. So think of weight as just a symptom. What's causing your body to keep it on? And then when you're looking at peptide sources, there's a lot of places you can go get them. You can get online, you can plug in, I want to get a GLP-1 for weight loss, and there's going to be 100 different ads that come up, and you can just choose one of those. But really, if you think about it, when I started digging into peptides over a decade ago, I would go and interview pharmacists, because I want to see where it's sourced from. Just like I want to know where my food comes from. I want to know the farm. Did the cow have a name? My wife's like, I don't want to know the personal details. I'm like, I want to know. I grew up on a farm, so I understand. But if you can understand where your food comes from, you understand how healthy the air is that you're breathing, you understand the cleanliness of your water, you understand who you're learning from, what type of person they are. All those things are really important, but for some reason we forget to check on the source of our hormones or our peptides. Who is the pharmacist that's putting these together? Because I want to make sure they've got the right energy and that they're doing it in a way that's very scientific, very technical, because not all pharmacists are created equal, just like not all plumbers or electricians or any engineer. Everybody's different. So what I learned is there's two pharmacists that I love, and one of them was a former strongman. So he's very into his physicality. He wants to be strong, and that's a goal. You know, we want your brain, your heart, and your muscles to be optimized so that when you reach age 100, that's your halftime party. You're like, great, I'm just getting going. And so what Dr. Caruso did, he had his PhD, and his PhD focus was on the IGF-1 pathways. And so he was able to learn all these novel things around the growth hormone peptides and how to utilize these GLP-1s with growth hormone peptides. So what we do is we use his pharmacy for our tirzepatide and retatrutide. And the fortunate thing is with Dr. Caruso's pharmacy, it's licensed in most of the states, and the states that it's not licensed, we have another pharmacist who's actually a bodybuilder. And what Kevin does in his Texas facility is he's able to compound all these performance-enhancing peptides that are very safe, they're sequenced in the right way, he's got the right covalent bonds, and it's a very clean product. And we've seen better breakthroughs. We've been able to dose it at lower quantities, and then we're able to stack the right peptides into these protocols so that our clients experience enormous benefits from it. You know, I had a client that came to me recently, and what she did is she actually was dosing twice the level as was prescribed. The instructions were very vague. Like when I looked at what her doctor gave her, I said, well, how long has your doctor been doing peptides? And she said, well, I don't know. He just said this will work really well for me. And as we got into it, we realized like he was using a pharmacy that wasn't licensed. He was also writing the prescription in ways where the dosing in the beginning was way too high. He was starting her at the therapeutic dose, but didn't give her any time to accelerate her dose so that her body could actually get used to that GLP-1, because the GLP-1, it changes the way that your digestive system works. And so what we did is once we got her on the right dose, we changed the peptide structure, all the nausea, the vomiting. She felt like she was never going to be able to eat again, almost like she had food poisoning for a week after she took the injection of the GLP-1. But once we shifted her over to tirzepatide from semaglutide, suddenly she's like, I feel better energy. My brain fog's gone. She's like, actually, I feel more focused. And she said, my muscle feels like it's starting to come back. And so, that was from the IGF-1 LR3 peptide that we had her on as well with the stack. And then we had her on BPC 157. Acid reflux is gone. And I also am having better bowel movements. And I can eat the protein that you guys want me to eat. And that was the big difference. So if you're looking to get peptides from the best source, you want to think, okay, who's making these peptides? Do they have the right credentials? Is there a lab? Is it a licensed pharmacy? Who is prescribing it? Is there a nutrition plan? Is there a fitness plan? And at East West Health, what you'll notice is any one that we work with, you're going to have your fitness team, and yes, we do put a surveillance camera on you. We want to make sure you're exercising. We have an app that's very easy to follow, customized fitness programs. We create the right nutritional protocols with meal prep, grocery lists, everything you need so it's easy. And then you also have the right medical team where we run the right tests. We'll run your blood work first. We'll do stool. We'll also look at genetics in many cases. And then our goal is we only like fixing things once. So once the weight's gone, we want to make sure that it's sustainable weight loss. We won't keep you on peptides your whole life. We'll be cycling different peptides throughout the course of your care. And if that's of interest to you, then make sure you grab my book. Go to agelessfuture.com, read the Peptide Blueprint. You could download a free copy of that, and then set up your lab consultation with us by going to that same website and just click on the link, fill in your information, and we'll get back in touch with you. Or just leave a note in the comments below, and my team will reach out. Can't wait to see you. Thanks for watching.